will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hey, hola, bon dia, alegria, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, a live stream and podcast. And of course, people who collect old magazines have a lot of issues. Good morning to you. Hey, there you are. How are you this morning? We are here with João de Nort, Anna, Pete, Baddy, just these few people who've turned up already, waiting to come in before the pub doors have opened this morning. How you doing, Pete? How's the Salvation Air Forceman? That's a noble. He's the ancient mariner, so he's a noble seaman as well, of course. You see him in the air and on the waves. And I think actually, maybe, yes, in transit at the moment. So have a good trip. The Salvation Air Force. It's been lovely making your acquaintance. And do stay in touch. Paul, Louise, and Lottie. Bon dia, alegria. Sunny here, but a bit chilly. Yeah, a few people complaining about how chilly it is this morning, but not with not as many reasons as our friends in North America, of course. And we're bound to get a picture of snow and the report from America somewhere saying it's minus 200 degrees somewhere over there. Stop moaning. In fact, how about this?
Stop it, you idiot.
That's a bit harsh, perhaps, but that's from yesterday. Thank you so much, T-Duck, for that and others. That is immortalized now on the Good Morning Portugal jingle board. If you would like to nominate anybody for that.
Stop it, you idiot.
I'm going to nominate the warmongers of the world this morning. There you go.
Stop it, you idiot.
If you've got any nominations for that, which I'm immune from that. Actually, no, I have to include myself in that as well. So if anyone deserves that, including me, just the idiot jingle card, play it. Okay, who else is here this morning? T-Duck, of course. Thank you for all the wonderful content this morning. Deagle, how are you doing, Deagle? How's it going, mate? I was going to ask you a question, actually, about when would be a good time to have our ticker tape asking for justice for Noah. Let us know when that might tie in with some concerted action over there where you are, mate. And Coach Turner in Madeira, of course, a lovely video this morning of one of many, which I'll be stitching together. And we will present that to you as a feature, as a red carpet premiere. The material coming over from Madeira is really good. Just one video this morning as a bit of a taster, but many more to come. T-Duck then in with a Bon dia alegria Gumpers at 7:56 this morning. And of course, today we will have Bruce Joffe from Portugal Living magazine. The spring issue is here. And you can have a little preview of that. So you could download it and thumb through it. Have a quick flick through this morning. If you so choose, you can download that from portugallivingmagazine.com. And let me just show you the front cover through which we will be flicking and thumbing aplenty this morning through Portugal Living magazine with founder editor Bruce at 9 o'clock this morning. And I thought we'd have a look at the news. We'd continue on a kind of media wavelength and have a look at the Portugal news, namely the Portugal's eponymously through the Portugal news itself, the publication, online publication, and in print, the Portugal news coming from mainly the south, don't they? Both the Portugal news and Portugal resident emanate from the south. And we'll have a look at their news headlines as well. When we throw open once again the phone lines at 9:30 for a little bit of Europe's biggest phone-in. So join us with your views. I mean, looking at the news this morning, I'm sure a lot of people would like to. Some people may wish to refrain completely, think to themselves,
Stop it, you idiot.
You idiots. But some might like to talk and have a little bit of a cathartic release about the news this morning. So feel free, if you will, at 9:30 after we've had a chat with Bruce at 9. Once again, I need to leave right after the show starts. Okay, all right, bye then. Was it something we said? I clipped James yesterday and he didn't even know. Is that the double meaning there on clipping somebody? Deep thought of the day, and Ayn Rand, deep thought of the day is the question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. A characteristic Ayn Rand quote possibly there. Alice O'Connor, better known by her pen name Ayn Rand, was a Russian-born American writer and philosopher, and for developing a philosophical system she named objectivism. Okay. A Portuguese saying then of the day, O passarinho ama o seu ninho, the little bird loves its nest. What does that mean, I wonder? The little bird loves its nest. Make of that what you will, and I'm sure you will. Who knew then? And Ugununu, let's have a look at this morning, early doors. Portugal's mineral wealth made it an important strategic region during the early metal ages. No, not with the likes of AC/DC and Motorhead. The early metal ages in Portugal, I think, were a little bit before that. And one of the first objectives of the Romans when invading, or Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, one of the first objectives of the Romans when invading the Iberian Peninsula after the Second Punic War. Sorry, Punic War. The schoolboy in me had to read that as Pubic War. And nobody should be engaging in that sort of activity, not even first thing in the morning. After the Second Punic War with an N, from 29 BC to 411 AD, that's a long old war, wasn't it? Rome governed the peninsula. Who doesn't like to govern a peninsula first thing in the morning? Expanding and diversifying the economy and extending trade with the Roman Empire. The economy experienced a major expansion. Who doesn't like experienced a major expansion profiting from the agricultural lands under Roman rule, fueled by trade routes and the minting of coins, which eased commercial transactions? I'm so sorry, I completely ruined the Ugununu this morning with smutty innuendo from start to finish there. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. Thank you, new member. T-Duck has joined up as a new member, leading the way, because look at this. I'm reading his content on the screen, and then I see him popping up as a member. Nice member. We need to do something like that, don't we, here on the Good Morning Portugal show? Who doesn't like a nice member first thing in the morning? And we have one right there. That is that's a great opportunity for me to bring this picture up onto the screen. Now, I thought I had enabled membership onto the channel in the last few days, because of course, thank you to everybody who helped us get to 1,000 subscribers, whereupon all sorts of things are happening, like membership. So I've created 4 levels of membership that replicate how you can how we can have mutual support of the show and us supporting you, depending on where you are in your journey in Portugal. But I hadn't done it correctly. It can be so complicated, can't it? The internet world, the digital world. I thought I'd done it, and then I'd still had, you know how these platforms make you leap through hoops. Well, you do watch this video, and then you can check that box, and then we'll let you do this. And I hadn't checked one of the boxes, which has now enabled join this channel. And if you just want to show you care, we've got a basic of $2.99 a month if you want to do that. And then if you're a grown-up who likes pretty colors and wants to have a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and live chat, you can do that. Isn't that amazing? And there's even a custom emoji. Who doesn't like first thing in the morning custom emoji? And of course, if you want to join the Portugal Club, or even take the big step of becoming a channel sponsor, if you think to yourself, dear old Munson, there he is scratching away into the early hours of the morning in candlelight with his quill, setting up the show. Do you know what? I'd like to be his channel sponsor. There's 499.99 euros. There you go, Munson. Any of those levels, please pop to the YouTube site this morning and have a look for yourself and become a member, just as T-Duck has led the way this morning. Cheers, mate. Thank you for that. You really needn't have, but I'm so grateful to you for doing so. Thank you very much indeed. So there you go. We have memberships, shiny members aplenty on the Good Morning Portugal show. Perhaps up to you. So dad jokes to come then from the T-Duck as well, including a very contemporary. That can't be a classic old. It might be based on an old joke, mightn't it? But air fryers are quite new. I can't believe that is a dad joke in a way, because air fryers, I'm thinking, came out in the last few months, didn't they? Or so it seems. And it must be. I think it must be a recycled dad joke that's brought the air fryer into the welcoming bosom, the hairy chest of the dad joke community. An ambidextrous joke as well. Stay tuned for these and look away. Don't read them in the chat yet. If you want me to try them out on Bruce later, Don't read them right now. And what's that? That one is about busy street corners as well. So we've got air fryers, busy street corners, and being ambidextrous this morning. Coach Turner, you're having such a lovely time over there. Should we just demonstrate that to everybody? And we'll be right back with your messages after this wonderful view, 360-degree view of Madeira this morning. Thank you so much, mate. These are lovely. I was reassured by your breathing during that, Coach Turner. Thank you very much. That is, what did you say this morning? You have been. Was that this morning? You've been up there already today. What time is it there, by the way? Are you 8:45 like us? 360-degree view from Capelinha de Nossa Senhora de Fatima at São Vicente. Beautiful, as are so many of your other pictures which you've sent, which, as I say, I'll stitch together into a wonderful compendium. Bonanza edition of Scenes from Madeira from Coach Turner this morning. Beautiful island of Madeira, you call it. Had a great tour of the west of the island yesterday with some stunning scenery. If you haven't had the chance of visiting, grab it. I will, don't you worry. I'm definitely on my list, as well as the Azores. God Squad tip of the day then, inspired by being in Madeira. I guess we all occasionally twist our ankles or at least tweak them, says Coach Turner. A good rehab exercise is to sit on a chair, cross your legs. Sometimes you need to do that, don't you? And with your free foot, write the alphabet. Oh, isn't that great? Especially when someone walks in the room. It's a very gentle movement, but surprisingly effective at re-engaging all the little muscles around the ankle and testing your memory at the same time as well. That's fantastic. Cheers, Coach Turner. That's wonderful. I nearly pressed the wrong button. I was going to give you a rim shot and nearly gave a shut up, you idiot, this morning. Bon dia, Gumpers, from the man who uttered that. Just imagine him in your mind's eye now, won't you, saying this as he did yesterday on the show. And we've got others.
Stop it, you idiot.
Bon dia. That is, that's worthy of Disney or Hollywood. It's such a good little clip, that. Fantastic. Well done, T-Duck. And thank you for uttering it in the first place. James, who says this morning, Bon dia, Gambas. Feliz dias a todos. Como está? Tudo bem? Oh, it's just occurred to me that I might not have given Bruce the link to join us. So let me just make sure that's happened as well. Behind the scenes on Yeldy Facebook. Okay, that's cranking that engine up now over there on Facebook. Bon dia, Colin Gumbers from Deagle. From a dry, mild Belfast, 4 degrees should double that to 8 degrees last day of February. I was going to say that. Things go through my mind. I think I'll say that in the morning. I forgot to this morning. So thank you, Deagle, for saying that. Of course. Where did that go? It is February the 28th, not a leap year. So that's it. That's your lot for February 2023. Gone. If you didn't make the most of it, try again next month. It's March tomorrow of 2023. We're living in the future, people. 2023, sunny, but wow, it is windy in central Portugal. A little bit of a weather report, and interesting comment from Pete. As ever, looks like the gods have had beans for breakfast this morning. That windy, huh? And Michael Whitby, further south and over to the east a little bit. No, the west, you silly fool. Not you, Michael. Me. Bom dia a todos. 3 semanas solidas de convidados. Começado ontem, nós desejamos sorte. Very good. And Thunderduck replying, você vai precisar de mais do que sorte. So I went to conversational Portuguese myself yesterday and really enjoyed it. Shout out to A Quinta do Salil de Porto. Lovely to hang out with you yesterday, Siobhan and Patsy, I think you call yourself. I was going to ask you, what do you prefer to be called, Pat or Patsy? But let's go with Siobhan and Patsy at the Quinta at Salil de Porto. Fantastic lunch. Really some great homemade curry. over there on the Quinta, where they've got all manner of animals and dogs and cats running around. Fantastic fun. Kids loved it. And we had a bit of lunch, and then I did some conversational Portuguese. So shout out, bom dia to all my friends, my novos amigos, who were at the conversational Portuguese yesterday. Really, for me, a really good way of learning a little bit more Portuguese yesterday. Good morning, and for that matter, also goodbye from Faro Airport and the 9:15. He'll be boarding now, I suspect, if he's not already on the plane there. Cabin to cross-check. 9:15 flight to Gay Paris. Well, bon voyage and bon voyage to you, our dear new friend, who may have just touched our lives briefly. He touched us briefly. He'll appreciate that, me saying that. And then moved on before the police could arrive. Okay, you could have breakfast with the doc. He should be around Paris. Oh, wow, at the same time as you. Bon appetit. From Pete to you as well. Land 1300 French time. That would be, what is that? I forget, my French is rusty now. I think my French has been replaced by Portuguese, perhaps. And you're just laughing at the prices in the airport cafes and duty-free shops. Is that in Faro? Because it's not so bad, is it? I mean, it is a little bit more than you might expect to pay. Where was I? Oh, yeah, the Oceanarium, where it was a little bit of a tourist premium. But I've got to say, really good quality. Here's a picture of my kids from the other day looking into the wonderful. I could have got a great big shark or a better backdrop of fish in the background there. But isn't that beautiful? There's the wonderful central tank of the Oceanarium there in Lisbon. And the cafe is, like you're saying about the airports, really, or wherever there's a captive audience, I guess, a little bit pricier than normal. But the quality of and the diversity of produce, provenance, yes, not Provence, provenance was very good in the Oceanarium. I mean, that place is amazing from top to bottom and from side to side. It's a fantastic day out, and there's the kids enjoying it. And as the duck said, is it the fish looking at the humans or the humans looking at the fish? It's hard to tell in that picture, but the kids perfectly immortalized in silhouette there. Lovely, lovely day out. Great place to go. Thoroughly commend it to you. And yeah, and although the cafe is slightly more expensive, as you might expect in a tourist place, it's great when the prices are higher, that the quality is also very good and with some interesting things on sale there as well. So don't forget to check that out. The gift shop, which you cannot escape going through the Oceanarium, like with any good tourist attraction. Yeah, the gift shop and the restaurant cafe is very good there at the Oceanarium, and not so much perhaps at Faro Airport or Charles de Gaulle, where you'll be going. When you're in a duty-free shop, though, Salvation Air Force, do you not have a quick squiz of the perfumes and colognes as you go through? I must admit, I did that last time. I was wandering through a duty-free. Okay, Cherbourg. Cherbourg is, if anything, slightly more Anglophonic than Albufeira. Really? I can feel a strange vibration. I think it's the builders over the road, don't worry. Just laughing. Can you hear that? It's my phone or the builders or something, a tremor, just laughing at the prices. Oh, yeah, we've already done that. Moule marinière or marinière. Yeah, moule marinière. Well, it's Meunier and Marinier. And a glass of red it is then. Salvation Air Force. Red with that, Sir Pete. I'll be going for it. I think my tastes have changed. Not only have my words have changed, my wine has too. I'd be liking a Vigno Verde with that. That might cause a Sacré Bleu over there in France, mightn't it? Cherbourg has repeatedly been voted the worst port in the world. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that, Cherbourg. Only way is up, though, eh? I will start moving the boat up the Seine. Is that a euphemism? Towards Paris next month. Well, don't be a stranger, Salvation Air Force. Can we have the occasional picture of you moving your boat up the Seine? Of course, if it isn't a euphemism, in fact, it's actually a real thing that you're doing there. Cruising along the Seine, romantique. I'll stop that. Cherbourg has precious little. All right, enough with the Cherbourg bashing, you two. Give it a chance. Come on. I'm sure it has some. Well, you say has little to commend it. Can we please find something to commend Cherbourg for this morning? We don't want to leave it on that note. Bon dia alegria from Buddy. How you doing? And leaving. Come on, Pete. Salvation Air Force. Say one night, both of you. You're on the naughty step now. Say one nice thing about Cherbourg. Anna Olsen. Bon dia alegria. How you doing, Anna? And Joao de Nortre is. So I'm stuck in a French accent now. I wonder if there's a medication for that. Bon dia alegria todos. Or maybe I just need some psychotherapy from the slug. Ugh. What's that? Is that hearing your voice this morning? Paul de Alegria, sunny here, but a bit chilly for Louise. Yes, of course, in central Portugal. So weather reports from all over the world. Thank you very much. And damning judgments of places in France as well. Morning, guys. I'm here. Darren, I'm in Porto, officially moved from the UK now. Oh, wrong jingle. Sorry. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Let's do that again, shall we? Morning, guys. I'm here in Porto, officially moved from the UK now. And well done, Darren. Fantastic to have you here. Exhausted after 2 weeks of leaving parties. You poor thing. It's like that's a good practice though for being Portuguese. While you were doing that, we were over here going through Carnival. So that's good training. Basically, I'm so glad to see you or to see that you've got here. You're in a hotel apparently until the 3rd of March when your furniture arrives. Okay, how do we get membership on YouTube? I don't see a button. That'll be the joy. Oh, you did. Looks like you did see it after all. Cheers, T-Duck, for that. Thunder Duck became a YouTube member. You can too by pressing it's the join button. You might think it's the member button, but no, or membership, but it's join. It's pressing the join button that does that. And you can do it if you're feeling generous as well. You can do a super chat too. That's all enabled. All the things you see that the big boys have on YouTube. I am now a big boy on YouTube. Hello, Suze. How are you doing? Selfie slug from Antonio. In all my beautiful... Oh, sorry, that's just a hello there. He's got me with his name there. James, how could you? One of these for you, my friend, doing that to me every week. And I can't press my buttons quick enough.
Stop it, you idiot.
That's not fair, is that? Using his own words and jingle on him like that. Bom dia, senhoras, from Barrandi. Outro dia no paraíso. Oh, after, 20 years or more, isn't it lovely that Barrandi is still able to say that he's enjoying another day in paradise over here in Portugal? What's this, John? I've learned this past month to truly appreciate always having a coat handy. Any shadowed area, and on goes the jacket. That's right. Layers. It's all about the layers here in Portugal. And the pubic war, apparently, there was a pubic war. Thank you, Salvation Air Force. It was a fairly hairy experience. Okay, thankfully, is this savory? Okay. Thankfully, the civilized Egyptian priests would never have gone through a pubic war as 4,000 to 2,000 years ago. They all shaved every hair off their bodies. Gillette, they say, is the best a man can get. But look at this. As 4,000 to 2,000 years ago, the Egyptians were shaving themselves. Do you think they used razors or did they have some other technology? Did they just sit under a pyramid? Is that what pyramids were for, perhaps? I wonder. Click the join button. Well, it's getting complicated, but it's a workout. After you've done maybe 20 reps on the like button, you can move over and then caress the join button as well these days. Mark, hola, bon dia, alegria to you, Mark. How you doing, mate? And one question, this is good, that always pops to mind when traveling through Portugal is who built all the terraced walls and when? Good question. All right, let's see if we get any answers to that this morning. Who did it? It's like many a mickle makes a muckle, isn't it? Penny wise, pound foolish. No, that's not the right one. But, the idea that over time, they've created this collective and beautiful edifice around the countryside, lines and lines of beautiful terracing and walls. And it's just a phenomenon, hasn't it? For the individual craftsman who probably laid those long ago, it must have seemed like such an effort. But as you pull back and you look from a different perspective, and you have a historical perspective as well, isn't it lovely to see what the legacy of all of that hard work is? As you say there, Louise, fantastic. Thus, here we go. The Egyptians prove that only the uneducated and illiterate were hairy, something that may please the host, given the current hirsuteness of his dome. Well, thank you. What a delightful verbosity you have about you, Peter. Are able to dress up facts in such a flowery way. Thank you so much, Peter. Peter, for you.
Stop it, you idiot.
Those were built by the locals along several generations. As to exact dates, I guess no one can give it. That's lovely in a way, isn't it? Obrigado, Antonio. We thought it may have been a Roman legacy. Wow. Do you mean the terracing, like we saw the other day on Owen's lovely photographs? Perhaps up there in the Peneda Gerês, and sometimes, as you see in your part of the world, in central Portugal. So Benfeita's a really good workplace, isn't it, to see all those terraced hills? I would have placed them after the Romans, but then again, I'm no historian. Quite a temperature range today up here from 0 first thing to 15 in a matter of hours. Exactly. That's another reason why you need several layers there, John. And Capricorn Chris is here as well. Hola, bon dia todos as well. I did say I was going to check that Bruce has got the link, didn't I? Thank you, Carl. What's this? Hold on a minute. Did I give him the link? Yes, I did give him the link, but I'm going to give him the link again. And just so that we make that nice and easy this morning. Which button do I press here, everybody? Oh, invite. That's good, isn't it? So many buttons to press now. Join, like, invite. It's all going on here this morning. So I am going to let me just check out my my correspondence with oh, okay, that's good. I think we should talk about it. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Bruce. Bruce is a little bit of a bereavement, a pet bereavement there. So good of him to be with us this morning. And he's up for talking about bringing pets into Portugal as well. And we can pay tribute to his past pet. Horrible when that happens in the home, of course. But thank you, Bruce, for being here nonetheless. I guess Romans had no need of taking such hard work for little profit as those terraces. They are called socalcos and are mostly used certain plantations, vineyards, almond trees, etc. Thank you for that history lesson. You see, that's the great way of using this environment, is to share those little questions that have been on your mind. What is it about those terraces? When were they built? Was it the Romans? And there you go. No sooner asked than answered. Thank you, Antonio F. That could be obtained in other regions, places with little effort, is the rest of your input on that. Thank you, Antonio F. And Chris, Tony, hope you both had a lovely weekend and Monday. Darren, that's awesome, says Pete to you. Hope you're enjoying the sun and beautiful centre of Porto, of course. Don't forget, Uber is dirt cheap. So that's a good way of getting around. And look who's here. It has been a while. What's your name again? There we go. Louise is here, everybody. Solo 50 plus Portugal. How you doing, Louise? Be nice to see you soon, and great to see you here this morning. Thank you for being here. And had a busy but nice weekend. I hope it's not too cold in your place. It's windy, mainly in central Portugal, so no need to have the calves of a goat with all those hills, Darren. Okay, yes, but I'm sure Coach Turner would see that as a lovely way of keeping fit, both in Lisbon and in Porto, of course, up and down those hills. Make sure you wear trainers or suitable footwear. The calçadas, they do not respect neither pauper nor prince. They could take you down at Chinatown. Probably literally, where is Chinatown in? So having said that, I'm not sure if there is a Chinatown in either Lisbon or Porto, but there are many Chinese shops. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. Wear trainers, wear sensible footwear, because once those calçadas get wet, they are very slippery. Good morning, everyone, from João F. How are you doing this morning, my friend? And we have a Bruce with us, so we'll bring onto the screen in just a moment. You'd have thought their hair would have grown back after 2,000 to 4,000 years. No, if you sit under a pyramid long enough, it does it once and for all, apparently, John. Is that Antonio F. who was giving that history lesson, or was it just the walls he was talking about? Mustache, says Louise, but just to say, love the show. We've been readers of not Good Morning Portugal, Portugal Living mag. Sorry, I just stole that compliment from you there, Bruce. Mustache, but just to say, love the show. We've been readers of Portugal Living mag since the first edition. Well worth a download and read. Got a water pump to fix. Ciao! Off goes Louise then, and in comes Dave and Debbie. Hey, Dave and Debbie. Veterans of Good Morning Portugal. Hope you don't mind me referring to you as that. You were here way back in the day, weren't you? What, nearly 3 years ago now when we got going. Very chilly here in Altura Praia. How are you both? Lovely to see you here. And just finally, before we bring Bruce onto the screen, I'm feeling lonely as the only one to have, yes, well said. That's a really nice way of quietly shaming everybody else. Why haven't you hit the like button, everybody else? The only one to have hit the like button so far. I think a few people have put that right now. Fantastic. Okay, let's give him a nice round of applause. Good morning to you. It is the Bruce Joffe this morning of Portugal Living magazine. How are you, Bruce?
Well, what's left of me? Got buzz cut.
Did you? Now, that's always a great experience to talk about, going to the barbers or hairdressers, the cabeleireiro or the barber here in Portugal. Do you get yours done in the local village?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. 6 euros.
Very
euros
good.
here. And they, for the first time in years, they trimmed my mustache. So I feel, a little strange about that. But yeah, well, it's one of those great, the best part, and I have told the gal who cuts my hair, is the shampoo that they do. They can take a minute or two just massaging
Oh,
your
stop it,
scalp.
Bruce.
And
Oh,
well, if this weren't a G-rated show, I would say, you have to be careful because it gets quite hot, steamy. And I told her, I said,
wing.
10 euros, 10 euros. Would you come back to my house and do this for an hour? I will give you 10 euros an hour to do this.
Rascal.
And she started thinking, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh,
Now, what hot water you've got? You've got 2 lots of hot water, some on the head and some metaphorically there, Bruce.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. Well, lovely to see you. And I don't know how else to say this, but I'm so sorry to hear of your news yesterday. You lost a dear pet. I think only yesterday, right?
It was just yesterday. Yeah. And I guess you were already on air when I sent you an email. Okay. Because
Oh, yeah, right.
you were saying that you would go easy on me and try to, and I had thought about it all night, and I had thought about it this morning when I got up, and I said, no, let's talk about pets, because bringing them in, I cannot tell you how many questions we get about bringing them in. I mean, there are companies that are advertising charter flights.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, for thousands of dollars, and people would do it. But even before you leave, the bureaucracy and the complications, okay, to get your pet into the European Union and in Portugal are more complex than what we have to go through. From
When
the
you say we have to, so in the United States, people, I guess, are used to flying their pets around their own continent, but it becomes a little bit more complicated when you come this way.
You have to remember, when people are coming this way, they're not coming just for a visit or to say hi to somebody. They're coming here to stay, and they want to bring their pets or family members. And there are people that will not come if they cannot bring their dogs or their cats or their pets.
Very family. Yeah.
Very, 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 very family. And so, the preparation before your pet, before your pet can be transported here, lots and lots of bureaucracy, lots of people. Here in the European Union, we have the pet passport. Okay, if a dog or a cat is here in Portugal or in any of the EU countries, okay, you go to the vet does the examination, make sure that there's the microchip inserted, make sure that not only is it inserted, that's charge number 1, charge number 2, it's got to be uploaded to the Portuguese system, okay? So that it's not just you're paying for the insertion of the chip, but also for the ability to track that chip, which requires the vet to upload the information to the system. And similarly, yesterday, what we went through, part of Portuguese law is if and when your pet dies, that pet must be removed from the Portuguese system. I mean, not only removed from your home, your family, and whatever, but you have to go to a veterinarian. Okay, this is assuming that your pet is chipped, okay, and part of the Portuguese system, which it is supposed to be, and it needs to be removed. It's part of that whole bureaucratic. There's probably somebody there, or a whole office of people checking. Aha, this pet, But I mean, it's a really big deal. And then when you get here, I mean, the first thing we found out when we landed at the airport, and God bless the parking attendant, who we had rented a car we landed in Madrid and we drove to Portugal, and God bless the parking attendant who said to us, no, you have to. The law in Spain and Portugal, at least, is that the dogs be tethered. They have to be seat belted, just like people.
It's so interesting that you should say this, Bruce, because a lot of we had I made the acquaintance of the Frankie Foundation yesterday, which is an animal welfare charity, and more of these seem to be springing up around Portugal, don't they? Because a lot of expats come and they want to adopt and rescue stray animals, and there's quite a lot of that going on all up and down the country.
And that's great.
It is great, isn't it? But on the one hand, there is this concern for stray animals. And then, but if you become an owner, it's almost like, well, that's why there are so many strays, because it's such an onerous task in many ways, being a pet owner, that's maybe why some people don't bother to go through all that rigmarole and why there are so many strays in the first place.
It could be, but usually the shelters will help you. I mean, I think the shelters are aware that that's one of those things that are keeping the people away from adopting. So they're there to help. And usually if you adopt a pet, a male dog would be castrated, a female dog would be neutered. The shots would all be given. The dog would have a chip, or the cat would have a chip, and it would be connected to the system. So you don't have to worry about that. It's just when you're coming here and introducing a new pet, which opens a whole nother can of worms, living here with pets. You know, we get complaints all the time from or we hear complaints all the time about people who are tired of living in places where people, I'm not mentioning nationalities or whatever, just open the door, okay, let the dogs free, okay, the dogs do their business, and then come back. And people, it's disgusting. It's sickening, you know, and there's a law against it. Is the law, you know, is the law being
or put into practice? Yeah, apparently not in some places.
No, it's not. But you know, the very first time that we took our dogs to a vet to make sure that everything. Oh, and that don't forget, you also have to, in addition to all that, you have to register your pets at your own freguesia. Okay, so in other words,
right. Yes, you do, don't you? And isn't there a month for doing that as well?
Yes, there is, and there are steep fines for not doing it.
Yeah.
And there are laws, like if you live in an apartment, many people live in flats or apartments here. You are limited to 3 pets, 3 dogs. Okay. And, you know, there are people with hearts of gold that want to bring in every rescue and take care of it, and, you know, and all that. But you're limited to 3.
Definitely a thing that, yes. Wow.
And I started saying earlier, the very first time that we brought our dogs, you know, to the vet to make sure that they were okay, that they were up to date on all the inoculations they needed and everything else, the vet sat down and had a long talk with us and said, you have to understand, Portuguese born and bred animals inherit certain antibodies from their parents that help them dispel things that I can't pronounce it, but that leishmaniasis, whatever it's called, you know, that where you get that 8-month collar that kills ticks and mosquitoes.
Oh, yes.
That, but you're also supposed to take the dog if your dog is from outside of Portugal, okay, then the assumption is that your dog does not have those antibodies built up that will protect them from certain things that are common to Portugal, but not like, say, the UK or the USA. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
So much. Have you got all this information collected together in one place, Bruce?
We have. There's so much of it. Just getting your pet on your dog or cat on an airplane is an article that we've published. We've published probably about a half a dozen articles about pets in Portugal, and you know, everything from some of the laws that affect them to transitioning your pets all of a sudden in a new environment. You know, does he learn or she learn to speak Portuguese?
Have you done an article on that? Because that's quite important, isn't it? Undercut. Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, talking of which, then you are, of course, the founder editor. Thank you. And I'm sure we'll return to this subject of bringing pets and looking after pets here in Portugal. But you're, of course, the founder editor of Portugal Living magazine, where many of these articles that you refer to, with all aspects of pet ownership, are looked at in the back issues. And a brand new one, spring edition, Spring has sprung for Portugal Living magazine, and we'll have a little bit of a thumb and a flick through this one this morning, as well as talking about pet ownership here. Can I dwell for a moment, please, Bruce, just to pay tribute to Jackson, who you lost yesterday? What a beautiful creature and part of your family. I hope it's not too painful talking about it, but I just thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of a tribute to a fine family pet. What a beauty! Which particular variety was Jackson?
We have 3 dogs. We had 3 dogs. All are miniature schnauzers.
Schnauzers. Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah. And he was he traveled with us everywhere. I mean, we moved around in the United States. We were in Virginia, we were in Florida, we were in West Virginia, we were in Wisconsin, we were in, and Jax was always with us. He made the trip over here. We got our pets to ride in the cabin with us.
Okay.
And I must say the flight attendants were wonderful. I mean, once the paperwork cleared, what they did is they technically, okay, if you're bringing over a dog, you're allowed 1 dog per person. We had 2 people and 3 dogs.
Very good. How did you do that?
That through the help and kindness and generosity of the airlines that we flew on, and what they did, the flight attendant put us in the very, very back row, right in front of, on either side, on the aisle on either side where the entrance is to the loo, but we were in the back row, and there were 3 seats, and what they did was they gave our big boy, Jackson, who passed, his own seat.
Amazing. Incredible. So what an amazing companion. Rest in peace, Jackson. And thank you for being here today, Bruce. I know it's very difficult when that happens, of course, when you lose a pet in the family. Bringing our little dog was the most stressful part of our trip, but she adjusted faster than we did once here. I guess that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Dogs certainly are resilient creatures, or can be, can't they? And just echoing what you're saying there, Bruce, about the challenges of bringing a dog over, and as well as cats, as well too, of course. Sue's saying with taxi, my dog has his EU passport. Brilliant. Do I go to a vet of contact microchip company to change his address from Finland to Portugal? I think that's probably is what you do. Our stray that turned up on our garden was French registered, and we re-registered her here in Portugal. So it is an international system, isn't it, Bruce?
Yeah. At least European Union.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the whole European Union. Yes, it is.
Okay. So thank you for that question. Any others about moving pets, especially dogs, because that's what Bruce has experienced in. But I think those, as you've heard, a thing or two about bringing pets into Portugal. Do ask those, as well as anything else that takes your fancy here. So congratulations on the new issue here. It's such a relief, isn't it, Bruce, to get these out after all the hard work? Or has the hard work just begun now?
We're working on 2 issues. The next issue is being edited, and the issue, I could show you the cover of the issue that's going to be coming out after this one.
Really? Oh, just give us it without necessarily causing a technological challenge.
Okay, now you showed me how to do this before.
Are you going to go for it? Oh, yes. This was so much fun last time when you shared.
Yeah, trying to show me how to do it. Okay, what button do I need to press first?
Here we go, everybody. This is what some people would have tuned in for today. Carl and Bruce, technology time. You should have a present or a share button.
I have a present. Yes, I have a present. Okay, I'm clicking on the present. Do I want to go to share screen?
If what you got on the screen you'd like to share, depends what you're looking at before you join us on the show, Bruce.
It's still early.
You do not deny it. It's just the time of day that's
It's just, you know that timing is everything,
timing
Carl.
is everything. Absolutely.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a screen.
Yes.
Okay, and now it says screen working. Don't show these tips again. Share screen. Okay.
Your
Now,
face lit up there in a different hue, so I
okay,
think
so
you're
now I have
successful.
to.
I think I probably have to remove what I'm sharing so that you can put what you're sharing.
Okay.
I might even get a veto at this end. I might even get to see it before everybody else does.
I,
Matron.
um.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to read a couple of messages out. It goes to show human nature perfectly. 2,000 years ago, people built their place in the sun in the Algarve and ate fish and drank wine. Nothing really changes that much. And I think this is connected to Salvation Air Force, who's just sent in some pictures of the Roman villa at Mireux near Faro. So let me just put those onto the screen as well. These are very great pictures that you've sent in and have done in the little time that we've known you. Thank you so much, Ancient Mariner, Salvation Air Force. Your two nom de plumes on the screen. Oh, this is your cruising on a canal in France. I think that's why you're headed that way, isn't it? Isn't that fantastic? Is that how you spend your time, Salvation Air Force? That's fantastic. And there they go, the Roman villa, the fish mosaic there. Really, really cool. And that looks like a typical Portuguese historical site where you're able to just get up close and personal. No gift shop, no one, no security, just able to be there and imagine yourself as a Roman centurion or which other Roman archetype you imagine yourself to be. Red snapper, possibly a sea bass. I don't know what is that one on the right there, Bruce? What are we looking at, do you think? When it comes
Okay, I'm on a screen now that says, I'm on a screen that says, choose what to share.
Go on then. Choose wisely. Choose carefully.
I've learned that, especially with you around.
And talk to the hairdresser as well.
Okay, but now it gives me three options. It says choose what to share. One option is a tab that says Chrome tab.
Yeah, if it's in your Chrome browser, that's the one to click on.
Okay, but what I need to do is get to my desktop and my Chrome. See, because it's showing the tabs that are, but it's not showing the content.
Why don't we just give it a go? Click some round. This is what I do when I find myself in this situation with technology, and actually in lots of situations in life. I just press buttons and see what happens.
Okay, well, we could try doing that.
Yes, come on, let's try it. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Now I said this is okay.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Instead of our next issue, we have previous issues. Okay, but wait a second. Okay, I can fix
Bruce, you're there. I think, by Jove, I think he's got it. Shall we?
I do. Okay.
How's that?
Here
Bruce,
we go.
You are now in control of the screen. This is an incredible responsibility. Please use it wisely.
Okay.
Who's this handsome young man then?
This handsome young man is the director of the first Portuguese animated film that is nominated for an Academy Award.
He's a bit slow to load, isn't he? As they say in the film business.
Yeah, it's loading it's loading full size.
You're rendering him. You're rendering him big. I think you could say.
Rendering big enough, Carl. Big enough for you.
Eye-wateringly so on the screen there. Oh, Bruce, what's he like? So it's slowly manifesting us. So he's a Portuguese film director.
Yes, he is. His name is João. His name is João Gonçalves, and he's director of the film. It's a short film and a documentary called Ice Merchants.
Right.
And it just won. It's won a number of regional and local prizes, but it's the first Portuguese short to be actually. It might even be the first Portuguese movie. Period. To be nominated for an Academy Award. But you can also see on the left side of that young man that in our next issue, the stories we're going to deal with assisted living. Okay, I don't know. I'm assuming that in the UK, when people get older, they have options in terms of uh, living in a retirement
Oh yeah,
community.
definitely.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
well, there are things that are different that are available here in Portugal. So we've got each one of those is a story that will be in our next issue. Now that's what I'm working on right now. I have already received most of these stories, and I am editing them, and I'm working with our art director to make sure that we have, the proper images to go with it and so forth. And yet at the same time, we have to be planning what's going to go into the issue after that because of the turnaround. Okay, shall I take that handsome man off the screen?
No, I think that's a good visual. That's three handsome fellas on the screen now, Bruce. I
That's
mean,
what I was. You took the words.
what more could anyone want this morning? He's good enough to be in front of the camera as well as behind it, isn't he? I would say. But look at this. This is wonderful what you do.
This is one. If you see the main, our main feature in this issue is Portugal and the movies.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's very timely because of the news about this man's film being up for an Academy Award. But we also go into basically the 10 best movies about Portugal. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That very shortly, in just concisely, we try to give a little bit about the back. This is what this movie is about. But really, it's a wonderful way to learn more about Portuguese culture. Fortunately, all of these movies are available in English from a wide variety of sources. Many of them are even on YouTube that you can watch for free.
Excellent. And if you want to learn the language that way, these are movies that if you like them, you can watch them over again, can't you? It's a bit like reading a book and getting deeper and deeper into the movie whilst learning your Portuguese. So that's a great idea. So he's gone now, but we let's dwell on that assisted living thing.
How do I get back to you? There I am. There you are.
We can see you. We can see you. So a number of things. There is some good feedback coming in and some condolences for you and the family, Bruce. So let's have a look. We've got Michael. We travelled from the US this time with our 13-year-old terrier. It was just a bit of paperwork, not too onerous in the Whitby's experience. Worth it to have our little gal here for 3 months. Oh, I see. That was, of course, as you said before, just on a temporary visit there. Thank you, Michael, for that input. Okay, I'm done with shouting. Thank goodness for that. Otherwise, we'd have had to play you that new jingle, Andrew, Lord Gilchrist. Thank you for those pictures, Salvation Air Force, of the wonderful mosaics. And your feedback, Sarah, about that being the most stressful part of the trip. And your question, Suze, as well. That's brilliant. Bon dia says, Marty, hey, Marty, how are you doing? Great pet info, obrigado. Getting pets to a vet legally is a challenge. Okay, so yes, there's the challenge of the legal side, I think, rather than getting your vet legally to the vet there. Does anyone know where a dog barrier can be purchased? Bruce, what is a dog barrier? Is that in a vehicle? In a vehicle?
I think a dog carrier. A dog.
Oh, okay. Rather than a dog barrier.
Anyway, you can even get them at the supermarkets.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've always learned that playing that if I do something that I shouldn't be, like when we took Jax in yesterday to the vet, I had him in my lap. Okay. And I'd be damned if anybody was going to say to me, I couldn't say goodbye to my dog and wrapped in a towel in my lap. And Russ said to me, well, what happens if we get stopped? And I say, well, then I pay el stupido americano que no falo portugués, and I really have a better accent by that. I should tell your audience that, I put it on very, very thickly, and the Portuguese don't even understand or look at each other like, oh my God, just let him go. Just let him go.
Yes, he's got his poorly dog. I think you would have been shown some compassion.
Yeah, Amazon's got a great selection of of crates and carriers and
Barriers and barriers. That's a name. That's probably there
carriers,
really is.
carriers, barriers. There are crates.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
a lot of
farriers. Oh, that's what this is. Well, there you go. Amazon and Andrew will have tested to destruction with Alpha the Great Dane, these dog guards. So they definitely work if Andrew's using them. That's great. Thank you for that help. All the pet owners are coming together to offer information this morning. That's fantastic. I have a lot of issues. I think that's an admission there. Oh, of Portugal.
Oh, I love selfie.
Selfie slug.
Slug all about.
He loves you too as well. I'm disgusted. At a rescue centre in Fundao, my friend adopted a feral, unneutered dog who is now pregnant because she can't catch her. Oh dear. I know you're a big advocate of animal rights and a pet animal lover, Solo 50 Plus Portugal. The dog is totally wild, and the rescue centre have just washed their hands of it. Oh dear, what a difficult situation there. I'm sure you'll get to the bottom of it, though, if anyone can, Louise. There are some fantastic mosaics in Italica near to Seville, if I recall correctly. The town was built courtesy of Hadrian. So a few Roman history fans and buffs here this morning. So yeah, thank you, Andrew. Guess I'll need to sign up with Amazon Spain. On that note, your experience of using Amazon here in Portugal, Bruce, ES and .de. Don't be getting stuff from Amazon.com. That can go horribly wrong, can't it?
Yeah, we've had some horribly wrong things. Most of them have been pleasantly wrong, though.
What is that? What happens when things go pleasantly wrong?
Okay, you get 19 different messages from Amazon. You put in an order. Okay, so you get an email that your order has been received.
Yes.
Then you get an email, your order is being processed. Then you get an email, your order is being shipped. Okay, then you get an email, your order has been shipped, and you can track it on this. Okay, and it is estimated to arrive at a specific date. They tell you. So you wait home. I've had times where I've waited home all day and it never showed. But more often than not, I'm finding here that my things are arriving before
the you've even ordered them
before. Yeah, but that's the same problem. I mean, I have plans to do the show.
Yeah, cathedrals. I know. I feel your pain, man. I feel your pain. So yes, it is another cultural adjustment. Should we just file it under cultural adjustment?
Yes, I like that. I like it. New column. New column, Carl.
We got better and worse, haven't we? Moving to Portugal, things that are better, things that are worse, and the big one in the middle, the things that are a cultural adjustment. And enjoy the journey, folks. Enjoy the journey. What's this? In the greater scheme of things, 2,000 years is the blink of an eyelid. Well, it's true, isn't it? Not much of a consolation when you've got a bad back and poorly knees, is it? We go, this is just a blink of an eye in history. It flipping hurts. And the Romans were very, very, very smart and sophisticated people. Thank you very much. I think there's a lot of appreciation for the Romans. If we were able to ask that question, what did the Romans do for us? I think a lot of people would come forward with things this morning. Some love, some fellow pet lover loss. I can feel your loss, Bruce, from Andrew Gilchrist. So I promised you a big hug this morning, didn't I, Bruce? And here we are, the Gumper community are doing that with you this morning. Not an expat cat and has a chip. All cats, dogs, and ferrets must be chipped.
Yes, ferrets.
Chip your ferret month, maybe here in Portugal, is a certain time of the year. And I think João de Nort had his tongue in his cheek there when he was talking about expat pets, which has a nice ring to it, of course. And there's a lot of coverage about expat pets in Portugal Living magazine, where this information is and is much needed, says Louise to you this morning, Bruce. Thanks for sharing. Sorry to hear about your loss as well. Amelie is here. Don't be shocked. I'm up and here. Wow. Oh my goodness. Let me just rub my eyes. Is that really you, Amelie? Don't go down the rabbit hole. I think that's when you were going into your hard drive, possibly there, from Sarah. We adopted Alpha. Luckily, she was all prepared, except she hadn't been fixed, which will be the neutering and sterilization, wouldn't it? I think. But I'd take another Great Dane to cause that. But it'd take another Great Dane to cause that problem. Yes, of course it would. Yes, push all the furniture back. Going in. I like Bruce. He agrees with me. It's early. It so is. And thank you, yes, for being here.
I like you too, Emily.
How about that? And it's 9:31. So if you want to call in, if you want to join us on the phone, you know the number to call. If you don't, it is 00351 913 590 303. If you'd like to talk about this, oh, that's right. To you, Antonio, from Selfie Slug, I could have a ferret as a pet now. We need to know more about Portuguese ferrets, don't we? Is this a common pet? I guess it would be in the countryside. They are illegal in the state of California. Unwarranted nonsense about environmental dangers of domesticated ferrets. Oh my goodness. If it ain't one thing, it's another, these days. Bon dia todos. Alegria from Bob at Wenger this morning. Excellent stuff. Too late. What happened there? Whoops. I don't know what that is, but I hope everything's okay at your end there, Sarah. Bruce, let me teach you some IT skills. So, as well as a visit from the hairdresser and massage in the home, it sounds like Andrew will come round and do IT for you. Maybe not at the same time.
Is there a menu? Can you send me a menu of services?
Send the menu so you can.
With
Bruce
prices, and then we'll just do it.
Yes, I think he draws a line at sorting out your floppy. Although no one uses those anymore, do they?
Floppy.
No.
Mine is not floppy.
It's a 5 3/4. I've heard. Is that what they use? I don't know. Let's move on from that. I agree, says Joel Denort, about chips. I'm a huge fan. My heart breaks whenever I see these homeless furballs, says Joel Denort there. And I'm interested in the movies about Portugal. Did Bruce say the list will be in that issue of the mag? So when is that coming out?
That will be our summer issue. The next one to come out.
Okay, the next one to come out. And when does that hit the streets? Around July or August?
It will hit the streets on May 15th.
You are way ahead of schedule then, Bruce. Is that normal?
In the state, that's another difference I've noticed with here. Like I'm a car freak. I like car magazines. Okay, and
what is that?
I like carros. It's only €1.95. It's the cheapest magazine you can buy. And it's great to learn Portuguese from. And it's not available. The March issue is not available. Andrew wants to be on the screen.
I wonder why that is. Okay, well, you know what to do, Andrew.
The March issue is not available for sale until March 1st. In the United States, and I don't know, maybe other people can speak from, where they're from, but the issue is distributed prior to the cover date.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's what sometimes happens in the world of publishing. But what they're a bit kind of laissez-faire about this, are they, with Carros magazine?
Say that again.
Are they often? This is what I'm used to. It's nice to get when you used to have a magazine subscription. One of the reasons for being a subscriber is you got it before everybody else. But that's not the case with this one, by the sound of it.
No, that's not true. Okay? All right. Because there are a lot of people. I cannot for the life of me imagine reading a 106-page magazine, which our issues tend to be, on a mobile. How in the world do you read articles on that little screen? There are other people like me that just prefer the feeling of reading paper, turning pages and so forth. And so we figured out a way, working with Amazon, that each of our issues is now available through print on demand, which means that they don't print it until you order it. It's printed just for you. It's low price, high quality, and it's very environmentally friendly, because unlike most publications that are distributed on newsstands and supermarkets and so forth, at the end of the month, all the ones that haven't been sold go back, to the distributor, and it's waste. It's all waste. With this Amazon Kindle, it's called. It's you can order it as Kindle for the screen. But we're already distributing that via email. But you can order a print copy, full color, glossy cover through Amazon.com. And there are people that prefer. We have probably at this point 8,000 digital subscribers that get the magazine via email early.
Brilliant.
And they will pass it, they will share it with friends and pass it along and print out, because you can print out, if you want to print out 106 pages, using all of those little ink cartridges.
Oh. You've got to get your printer to work first before you do that, of course.
Yeah, but I mean, if there's an article that you like and you want to share it with somebody, you can print it out. You can you print it. But if you want the whole magazine, in a in a print format, they're all available at Amazon.com.
Throughout cross purposes here, Bruce, because and that's great. I'm sure people are delighted to find out they can do that. So you can get digital or hard copy of Portugal Living magazine. But I think you began to speak to me about a car magazine that wasn't available yet. It's the last day of February, and their March edition isn't even on the streets yet.
No.
Why is that? Cultural adjustment.
Cultural, you got that?
Okay, all right.
I love that expression. Yes, cultural. Yes.
The comments and questions are coming in thick and fast now, which always happens when you're here. Antonio, you maybe know to answer this as well, of course, Bruce. Are chips required for pets just visiting? I have a friend in Cape Verde who's coming in the spring, and she has 2 dogs. Not sure they're chipped or not. That's an interesting question. Would you know if that's true? If a pet is a tourist, does it need to be chipped?
Yes, I believe it is, because it's not so much if it's their ultimate destination, meaning they're getting off and staying in Portugal, or if it's a trip, in order to get the papers that you need. It's like a it's called a pet passport.
Well, of course. So de facto, it would need to be chipped.
Part of what is required on that pet passport is the chip number, and so forth. Otherwise, they won't issue, if unless they're swimming over or, coming a different way. But if you're flying over with your with your pet, even as a tourist, they won't issue you a ticket.
There you go, Emily. I think that's the answer to your question there. We've dealt with this one, Sarah. Did Bruce say that the list of movies will be in that issue of the magazine? That's July when that's coming out. Tony?
May 15th.
What is wrong with me this morning? Sorry, Bruce.
No problem.
I went off on July, didn't I, for your summer issue? May. You don't have to wait all that time until July. May 15th, you say?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Excellent. Tony's being naughty, but that's what he does, and you'll see more of this next Thursday. Our dog is a native Spanish speaker, so she picked up Portuguese in no time.
Well, then Tony's dog is smarter than I am, because I'm a native Spanish speaker, and I'm still having problems with Portuguese.
There you go. Maybe you should meet. I'll tell you the significance of that over lunch one of these days. See, I found just an excuse for having lunch invitations. I see we're not invited to that, though, are we, Bruce? Chihuahua, come on. I was hoping to take them both dogs at the same time, but car isn't big enough. Small problem and no excuse. I must do this. Okay, Marty. And thank you for your message, mate. Lots of love to you. Matty, bom dia a todos from Central Portugal as well. Okay, lots and lots of chat and comments this morning. Thank you, everybody. They're all talking to each other, though, and making my job a little bit more difficult here this morning. All pets visiting other countries have their own rules. My dog, not my Fog, my dog had to take worm medication 1 month before traveling to Portugal from another EU country. Oh, my goodness. It is complex, as you say, Bruce. I've stopped to arrange my day around receiving packages. There you go. You have the cultural adjustment. Although this is true everywhere, isn't it? Although some people do use the Ring system, don't they, and use their doorbell and their mobile and the smart devices to stay in touch with deliveries. If they arrive when I'm not at home, they either need to come back or leave a note where to pick up. I've had a delivery person come to the cafe, though, where I was having coffee, which was really cool. I thought that's a really good cultural adjustment. Hello, who's this?
This is our baby boy.
That's the baby boy. Who's that then? Let me just get a lovely full screen picture. Oh, there's banners and everything in the way. You're a bit low in the screen this morning. Oh, there we go. Much better. Hello. A nice little cuddle this morning. Fantastic. Okay.
No, they know when we came home. Well, when we went to the vet, we didn't take them. We left them here at home. And they
Yes.
knew something was fishy because
Cool.
either, they all go or nobody goes. And
Yeah.
then when we came back, I kid you not, both of the other dogs were very empathetic. They
Yeah, I'm
knew
sure.
something was wrong. And this little one has been acting very sad. He's
Bless.
looking in all the nooks and places where
Oh,
his big buddy, used to hang, and it's an adjustment for the pets too. Yeah.
yes. Yeah. In some places, says Antonio after you to John, there are community cats. Yes, I've seen these. Yeah, they don't have an owner, but people have built little shelters and feed them. So the community cat shelter, cats that don't have an owner but are cared for by the community, including providing them shelter like broken washing machines, for example. That's a good bit of repurposing. Sorry, Bruce, I'm hiding you with the comments here. Jackson is a great name. I've no doubt he lived a fine life. Thanks for sharing this, Bruce. So more adding to the group hug for you,
Marty.
and Russ. Okay, I'm not going to read the comments now because we've got so many of them. But lovely to see you getting on so well in the comments, everybody. Well done, playing nicely there. Carl Bruce, can either of you please send a link to subscribe to the Portugal Living magazine? I am so surprised, Deagle, that you're not already a subscriber, but let's put that into the chat right now. I'm on it, Bruce. I'm all over it, and I'm sure Andrew will show you how to do this when he visits you with a little bit of hands-on tech advice.
It's very simple. You just go to portugallivingmagazine.com.
There it is, and that's on the screen. It was on the screen, and then a load more comments came in. So there you go. portugallivingmagazine.com is the place you need to go to get your digital edition, which is available now, and to be told when the next ones are coming out. And of course, a click through to Amazon where you can have one printed and sent to you. That's right. I think I'm up to speed now, aren't I, Bruce?
I think you are.
There we go.
I did, when we're running out of time. Okay, I did want to put closure on the Jackson story, and one other thing that we've learned that your audience, I would like to share with your audience.
Please do.
Now?
Oh, I see. When we get closer to the end. Okay, let's do that at the end then. Let's do that around 10 o'clock. Okay, fair enough. Hallelujah, says Louise. Someone else that understands not everyone can read off a tiny screen. Get a bigger screen. Do you know what, Bruce? You know this lovely tradition of people leaving things by the bins that can be reused and repurposed. I thought I found a massive flat screen TV last night. In fact, I did. I found a great big flat screen TV, which I thought would be quite useful in the studio to have an extra screen with what's going on in it, so that Mrs. M can read it without glasses on, and me for that matter. But I was out and about. I'd walk the dogs, and I saw this big flat screen TV by the garbage, as you might say. And I thought, do I try and carry that now with two dogs? And that's going to look a bit dodgy if I do that. Do I drive back? And I thought, no, I've been drinking too much. I've had a few glasses of wine. So if I drive, I had to go through this whole process of how I was going to go get this massive flat screen that was by the bins next to a tumble dryer as well. Somebody was getting rid of a tumble dryer and a flat screen TV. And strangely enough, and I won't go into the reasons right now, but I had Mrs. M's coat on. So I had a woman's coat on walking the dogs after a few glasses of wine, thinking, how do I get this big flat screen TV monitor screen home? So I walked back on my own. But unfortunately, I had a little bit of after old TVs, they got a little bit of a burn on the screen of some sort. But there it was. I think this is a wonderful tradition in Portugal. If people feel that someone else might be able to use the stuff, you don't put it in the bin, you put it by the bin, don't you? And I service this at both ends, so to speak. I'm picking stuff up sometimes if I think it's going to be useful, some timber or whatever, and I'm leaving stuff there as well for people to take advantage of. Is it the same in your part of Portugal?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. It's a lovely, lovely tradition, that. Okay. Are you still visualizing me in Mrs. M's coat, possibly there? Because you've gone a bit quiet. Still doing that, perhaps. Okay, so we've done the link to Portugal Living magazine, and what else have we got? Oh, condolences from Simon as well. Some angels choose fur instead of wings. Isn't that lovely? Fantastic. Thank you very much, Simon. I like reading paper and doing the New York Times crossword with pen. Hey, do you have a crossword? or any puzzly bits in the Portugal Living magazine?
No, the most puzzling events is we've added a Portugal page now, that Portuguese page. And what we've done is we're mimicking the test that if you want to get nationality, Portuguese nationality, there's a language test that you have to pass. And one part of the exam is kind of contextual. It'll say, for instance, "São às 8 da manhã." Okay, and so it begins with that, and then you have three choices, multiple choice. Vou a comer a petit déjeuner. Vou a comer déjeuner. Vou a jantar. So in other words, what we're doing is, we're helping to prepare people to take the test, but we're helping them to comprehend Portuguese contextually rather than just giving lessons.
Very good, very good. And we were talking about this yesterday, Bruce. It's all very well doing Sudoku to keep your mind sharp, but why not do something really useful and practical, like learn a language? You get the same benefits as you would doing a random Sudoku, wouldn't you, by learning the language? So that's great. Another good reason to pick up Portugal Living magazine.
I mean,
what a great idea to print on demand. It is 2023. After what? It's 2023. Another benefit of the digital copy is you can easily magnify it for a large or huge print copy. Oh yeah, so you could get your digital print on the screen and enlarge the bit you want to print, or a picture or an illustration. The rather charming fellow, the director, for example, if you want to frame and print him for above your mantelpiece. Your man on the tarmac at Farrowgate A218, time to draw attention to the plight of maimed and disabled camels. Not just yet, thank you, Salvation Air Force.
Hey, hold on for a second. Let me back up. You mentioned one of the advantages of digital, the digital version, being able to resize it and so forth.
Exactly, yeah.
Another huge benefit of the digital format that we cannot do in our print format is links. So that in our articles, whether it's an advertiser, whether it's an article that's talking about something and there are references to a number of places, they are all linked in our magazine, our digital version. So as you're reading, you can just click the link. You can't do that in the paper version.
No, of course you can't. That's fantastic, isn't it? So they each have their relative merits. Bom dia, alegria a todos from the Portugal sun in South Africa. Better late than never. Just got off a call with the people helping us get our pup to Portugal. Hope you're all good. Single digits to the visit to Portugal. Bon dia, Bruce. That's great news. Well done. Looking forward to seeing you. Packing it in for the night. Thanks all. See you later, Suze. Lots of love to you and Taxi. Good. This is one for me. With all the talk going on this morning, we'd like to challenge you. I noticed that, Emily. Read the side chats happening around you that make your job more enjoyable. Okay, well, I'll reframe that with you then as enjoyable. All this dog talk made me want to go on their morning walk. Have a great day, everyone. Till the next time. Excellent, Matty. Have a great day, my friend. And look at this from Marty, a super chat, $9.99 there. When I see you next, Bruce, we will raise a glass of something fizzy to Jackson. How about that? That's very sweet of you, Marty. Thank you so much for that. Very
Obrigado. Muito grato.
Okay, mushy slug. Thinks one got sprinkled. Oh, no. Carl, did you watch the video from the Man Cave dinner? I didn't dare watch that yet. But Carl, I can't take a flat screen TV to the park with me or down by the river and sit and read. You'll be fine, I think, in Portugal doing that. People are so unjudgmental. If you want to do that, Louise, you do it. Love the language support. That's your idea to do the language quiz in the magazine is fantastic. I'm gonna sign up, Marty, for the magazine. There you go. Okay.
2001.
Oh, and you can use QR codes on the paper version. You just point your phone at it and voila, it takes you to the link. Superb stuff. Yeah, really good stuff. So we're coming towards the end of concluding the show today. Tomorrow, of course, it's Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday. We'll have Michael Heron here and we'll have Bobby O'Reilly from your home who will be... Oh, I've screen there, Bruce. I don't know how long you've been on your own on the screen there. I think probably for about half an hour now. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, we've got Bobby O'Reilly from Your Home, who will be opening the sales office basically for the fantastic new development south of the river there. That I don't know if you've seen that development. I think I need to send you a link, Bruce, of these off-grid homes south of the river, 15 minutes on the train into the capital. I think I need to bring that to your attention. Andy's on his way to another day in paradise for Andy. Chabellas, have a great day a todos. So this, Bruce, you were wanting to conclude, and I think a little bit of a tribute, a eulogy.
Just a heads up. Let's put it that way. Heads up. If there comes, or when there comes a time that, as our vet, you will know, they will tell you when it is time. That's the hardest thing for me to deal with. But my dog was in pain, a lot of pain, moaning and groaning and so forth.
Oh.
But what I want to say is that one of my frustrations here in Portugal, and it came across loud and clear dealing with Jackson yesterday and doing a little research the day before, is what happens, okay, if your dog is chipped and if your dog is in the system and so forth. You can do a search as to we wanted to bury our dog in our backyard, okay? And we did a search, and half of the articles that we came across on the internet said it's not allowed, okay?
Oh.
That in Portugal, you cannot bury your dogs on your own property, and they must be removed from the register by a vet. And when we took the dog into the vet, we asked her, and it's one of those things that I love about the Portuguese, that they might have a rule on the books, but that doesn't mean that they necessarily obey it. The vet looked at me and she said, "Do you want to take him home and bury him?" Okay. Oh. And she said, "I will take him off the records. Nobody needs to know where the dog is." So what I'm saying is that I don't know what the answer is, because half of the information says no, you can't do it, and half of the information in our own experience was, well, we did do it, you know. So, you know, just be, when that time comes, just depending on, I guess, where you are or whom you're talking to or whatever it is, you might get a different kind of answer or result than we did.
Oh, that's really good to know, Bruce. And I think that is in a strange way, a wonderful thing about Portugal, isn't it? Is that there are a lot of rules, and people do no secret to be pointing out or even complaining about the bureaucracy, but a huge heart, as you discovered there. The rules are one thing, but what people actually do and the compassion extended from one human being to another is evident here in Portugal. So it sounds like if people do want to have a little burial site in their own property for their dogs, it's not out of the question. Should we put it like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
The other two options is you leave it with the vet, and for no charge, the vet will, let's say, dispose of the body, or you can have the dog or cat or ferret, for that matter.
Ferret, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, cremated. Okay, and you have two options. It could be cremated with others, okay, or a separate cremation, and with the ashes returned to you in an urn. So, there are a lot of options.
Okay, that's so good to know, and thank you very much, Bruce, for being here this morning. And from your own pain and experience, sharing that with us to make life easier for other people, which I think is a pretty good. That's how you roll in life, isn't it? As well. So thank you for being here and for doing that. The Portugal Living magazine is currently out. That would be the spring edition, and it is packed. Every one of them is packed with loads of information.
Show them your story.
Where am I? Am I near the centerfold?
You're the first.
Watch where you put that stable, Bruce. I think I'm on page 28. Not that I looked and checked as the first thing.
No. I think I told you that you're on page 28. But you are the very first, after our news and our letters to the editor, and after, we have a rant where people anonymously can sound off on something that they've negate. Then we begin all of our feature articles, and you're the first feature art. There it is.
There's the rant. There's your rant right there. There's
one rant. Now, if you can flip through,
I'm flipping
noteworthy are all news things that people might want to know about.
It is amazing. It is incredible. There's so much information in it, and it's like each one is a labor of love and an incredible gift.
We're almost there.
We're almost there. My finger's hurting.
There.
Look at that. There we go. There's me and Mrs. M crossing the border back in 2017 with a little segment from our memoir of moving. We're celebrating 5 years of being here in Portugal. So thank you so much, Bruce, for giving us a little bit of space in the magazine among loads of really useful.
I'm still waiting for your next chapter, Carl.
I know you. I thought you might say that. What's my deadline, Bruce?
Well, we publish early.
Get on with it, basically, without shaming me too much on screen. Get it into the office is what you're saying here. Will you stay? Will you stay for the dad jokes?
I can't. I've got things that I have to do dog related.
Okay, we'll give you a lovely big round of applause and thank you so much for being here. It's always wonderful and fun to talk with you.
Thank you.
Okay, Bruce, you take great care.
Okay, I hope to see you the 4th Tuesday.
We've got it. We figured it out. Okay, we'll see you then, my friend.
God bless everybody.
Lots of love to you and Russ and the furry family there. Take care, mate. Bye for now.
Thank you very much.
There he goes. I think he needs another round of applause. Superb. So current issue is out now. We haven't got time to look at the papers, but just suffice to say that over in the Portugal news, there's that fantastic article about the pastel de nata scooping another World Best Pastry Award. National Cuisine of Portugal has once again been recognized with 4 pastries making the top 100 in the world, and the top 2 spots also going to Portugal. Well done, Portugal, on that. Thanks for today. Have a great day, folks. Don't go anywhere yet. We've got some dad jokes. And tonight, let me tell you, of course, tomorrow we're going to drink some fizz. I think, again, we were drinking last Friday. I think we're breaking ground and opening the sales office over there at Herdade de Mayo, Your Home Group's new development, exciting new development south of the river there. Michael Heron will be with us, of course, tomorrow. So bring your fizz tomorrow if you fancy having a bit of an early morning toast with Bobby O'Reilly tomorrow. And tonight on the Portugal Business Club, we are looking at the NIF number, the nasty. Is it nasty or nice, the NIF? Is it a nasty NIF or is it a nice NIF? We'll find out as we deep dive into the new guide that's been published by Finanças and the Taxation Authority of Portugal. They have devised and published a new guide. That's not them on the screen, by the way, the people with the big hooters there. And did lots of you Americans suddenly look round when I said big hooters? By that, I mean the British use of the word hooter, which is a nose. This is a picture from Andy. These people still got sore heads from the Carnival. But where was I? Yeah, NIF numbers. We were talking about them tonight on the Portugal Business Club because the Finanças have just published a guide for expats. So we will deep dive and comb through that with witty asides, hopefully, to make it a little bit more bearable tonight as we find out why. Well, you're going to need a NIF. You're going to need a NIF. But how you use it, training you in the art of the NIF tonight will be part of the pleasure of the Portugal Business Club this evening. So see you there. Those dad jokes then, as we finish off this morning. Thank you so much, T-Duck, for these. I got an air fryer because I like my air medium well. Was that medium well done, possibly? I joined an ambidextrous group, but it didn't feel right, so I left. Quality. And finally, then, sometimes when I don't want anyone to talk to me, I stand on a busy street corner with a clipboard. Oh, yes. Shout out to anyone who's doing that kind of stuff this morning, charity chugging or market research. You must have a very strong level of self-esteem, I think, to do a job like that. Take care, folks. Have a lovely day. Thanks to Bruce. Thanks to you all for being here this morning. We'll see you again tomorrow for Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday or the Sheffield Business Club tonight, where we're talking about the nasty or nice NIF number. Bye. Bye for now.
There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.